In recent months, we have seen Democrats openly debate on whether or not the political party should include pro-life candidates. In July, the head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee told The Hill he's willing to fund pro-life Democratic candidates. Former DNC Chairman Howard Dean reacted, saying he won't donate to the group if it funds pro-lifers. And back in April, DNC Chairman Tom Perez and former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders rallied with Heath Mello, who was running to be mayor of Omaha, Nebraska. Mello had previously voted for pro-life legislation, prompting an outcry from abortion advocates who said all Democratic candidates should support abortion. We're joined now by an expert who's been studying the Democratic Party's relationship with abortion for years. Ramesh Ponnuru is senior editor for National Review and author of The Party of Death. Ramesh, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So at the leadership level, what are Democrats saying about pro-life candidates? Is there unity in their message?
Well, I think a lot of Democrats would like to have a litmus test where to be an elected Democrat or to be a Democratic candidate, you have to be in lockstep with the abortion lobby up and down the line, no matter how extreme the particular position is. But there is some dissent to that, and I think it's a remarkable sign of how extreme the Democratic Party has gotten, that in this internal Democratic debate, the relative voices of reason are Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders.
And to see just that open grappling that they're doing and having those conversations right now, prominent Democrats that we know today, former President Bill Clinton, Al Gore, the late Senator Ted Kennedy, at one point all voiced pro-life beliefs. When did that shift happen to becoming pro-abortion?
Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but the Democratic Party's voters for a long time, as late as the mid-1980s, were more pro-life than Republican voters were. But there was a kind of sorting process that was started at the elite level, where the Democrats really repelled pro-life Democrat voters and attracted people who'd been Republicans who were pro-choice. And then so the Democratic Party became more pro-choice, and that drove further away pro-lifers, and over time it's just gotten more polarized.
And more extreme. Are there any Democrats in Congress today who are truly authentically pro-life?
Well, there are a number of Democrats who describe themselves as pro-life. It is nothing like the numbers that there used to be. You know, as late as the early 1990s, there were about 100 pro-life House Democrats. I think you've probably got about 2 or 3 left in today's Congress.
If 1/3 of Democrats are pro-life, which is what a lot of Gallup polls indicate and show, how is it that the DNC platform has become so extreme on abortion? And it does seem as if Planned Parenthood has a lot of control over the Democratic Party.
The Democrats who are the most committed on the abortion issue are the extreme pro-choicers. And the other problem is that you've got a lot of Black and Hispanic pro-life voters who, for various reasons, just feel much more comfortable in the Democratic Party, notwithstanding their point of view on the right to life.
Planned Parenthood spent millions upon millions of dollars endorsing and supporting Hillary Clinton, who lost the presidential election. They spent reportedly over $700,000 in an earlier lost Georgia election this year. Is it a smart political move to team up with abortion? It seems as if they're losing.
Well, it depends, of course, on the particular year and how the issue is handled. But in general, I do think that the right to life is something that is not just right, but is also a winning political issue. And the Democrats have lost votes on balance over the years on this issue. And in fact, I think there's some pretty good evidence that if Hillary Clinton had just been a little bit more moderate on the issue, she would have won this election.
You wrote your book, The Party of Death, 11 years ago. If you were to update it and put in some new information, what might you add since 2006? How has the Democrat Party continued to evolve when it comes to their relationship with abortion?
Well, there's been a lot of political history since then, and it's had some ups and downs. But I think the basic arguments are still true. The basic arguments I made about the extremism of the pro-choice movement, about the extremism of American law with respect to abortion, and the way that it's undermining the Democratic Party and shifting America to the right.
Do you think, because we mentioned that earlier statistic about 1/3 of Democrats say that they are pro-life, if the DNC platform continues to become more extreme, do you see those voters becoming independent, going to the GOP? What do you see happening in the future?
Well, it depends, because it's never been the issue that has been at the top of the campaign agenda. It has a slower acting effect usually. And so depending on the economy next time, some of those voters could go back. But over the long run, I think that the Democratic Party has either got to hope that America moves in a more left-wing direction on this issue than it has ever done in the past, or it's got to moderate its position on it.
Ramesh Ponnuru, thank you for your time and thanks for being here.
You're welcome.